Mighty nice country.
Depends on how you look at it. What'd you say your business was?
I didn't say.
I guess maybe you didn't. My mistake. Just traveling through?
Can't say. Tell me, what kind of section is this? Cattle or mining?
Ain't no gold around here, just ranches.
Well, that's what I'm looking for. I might settle down here.
That's too bad.
Why?
Well, you seem to be a pretty nice feller. Kind of young, too. This country's been mighty fatal to strangers lately.
Thanks. I'll keep my eyes open.
Better keep your hand close to that gun, too, while you're traveling through Rawbone.
What's the matter with the law in that town?
Ain't got none. Sheriff disappeared about a week after Hilton got killed.
Who is Hilton?
One of the finest men in the country. Never harmed anybody in his life. Tell you, when a man like him gets washed out, anything can happen. That's his daughter riding in the coach.
Kind of a sad homecoming.
Yeah, and a quick one, too. She just left a little while ago to visit her aunt. There goes that doggone trace again.
I'll fix it. Oh, boy. I'll ride inside. Howdy, miss. My name's Jack McKenzie. Folks sometimes call me Nevada.
I'm Kate Hilton.
Yes, I know. I was talking to the driver up top. I thought maybe you'd like to have a little company.
Oh, thank you. I'd appreciate it.
Mighty pretty country. This is my first time through here.
I was born in this country. I've always loved it. So did my father, but no.
Yes, I know. Now you want to hate it. But that won't help.
I suppose you're right. It's not the country's fault that things happen.
Have you any idea who wanted to kill your father?
No. He didn't have an enemy in the world.
Well, in that case, he probably knew something dangerous about the wrong person.
I suppose that is possible. You see, he ran the Wells Fargo office. But the safe wasn't even robbed, and there was some money in it.
It does seem strange.
There've been a series of these killings in town, and each one just like my father's, for no apparent reason.
Been going on long?
Well, they started suddenly about 2 months ago. I guess that's why Father and Joel insisted on my going away.
Joel?
Yes, we're engaged to be married. He took over the office after Father died. But I don't know why I'm telling you all these things.
Well, I like to listen, and I think talking will do you good just now.
You're a very understanding person, Mr. McKenzie.
Whoa! Hey, Zeke! Zeke, get your lazy bones out here and help me water my horses.
Throw down that box. Make it fast.
It'll pile up at the first turn.
It's all the better if it does. It'll give us a chance to get back to town before anybody finds out about it. Let's get that box and get out of here.
Whoa!
How are you making out back there, miss?
Well, I'd feel a lot safer if I could be up there with you.
You're better off inside. We'll be all right from now on. They didn't pile up after all.
Maybe that ain't so good for us. We'd better find out how much that fellow who's driving saw.
What happened?
The stage was held up at the water station.
Hold up, eh? Where's Pete?
He's up there. He was killed.
That's the second driver we've lost.
What about the Wells Fargo box?
They got that, too.
Here's your chance to show what you can do as a sheriff.
I understood there was no sheriff in this town.
Oh, well, they appointed me sheriff as pro tem, you know. I don't know why I didn't want the job. Oh, meet Trigger. He's my deputy.
Howdy.
How come you to be driving?
Well, the horses ran away. I would have been killed if it hadn't been for this gentleman.
Well, I certainly owe you a lot, stranger.
Jack McKenzie's my name.
Joel Dixon.
Say, if you was in the coach, maybe you seen who fired the shot.
I couldn't see their faces. They were inside the shack.
Well, maybe there's some strangers from another section of the country. Oh, Trigger, you take care of the team and take care of Pete's body.
All right, Sheriff. I'll be seeing you later, McKenzie.
Hey, son, guess you better take her inside. She's gone through enough for one day. How long has he been your deputy?
Edwards got me to appoint him yesterday.
Edwards?
Yeah, Land and Water Company. Big man in this town.
Where's the best restaurant?
Right down the street. There's only one here, mister, so it's got to be the best. And let me tell you something, it's also the worst.
Well, what I want to know is, how do they always know when there's money in that strongbox?
That's something that we've got to figure out, Colby.
Hello, boy. How are you? Been treating you well, huh? Ah, nice boy. Glad to see you. Hey, one chop suey.
Do I look like a chop suey cook to you?
Oh, I don't know. You might be able to pass for one. Anyhow, I'll try and order.
There ain't none.
Well, it says chop suey on your sign out there.
And I say I ain't got none.
Then you better take down your sign.
Listen. The sign says Ling Chow, too.
Ain't you Ling Chow?
Mister, Ling Chow was a Chinaman, and he's dead.
Well, you're mighty near old enough to be.
One more crack out of you like that, and you'll be wearing this like an Indian war bonnet. Now, do you want something to eat, or don't you?
Sure. What kind of grub have you got here?
I got coffee, bacon and eggs, and flapjacks.
Flapjacks. He calls his untanned cowhides flapjacks.
Well, Nevada, I'm glad to see you. I've been expecting you.
Glad to see you, Sandy. I saw my horse outside, but I was surprised to find you running a place like this. Say, how long you been in town?
Oh, just about a week. Well, how do you like the layout?
Well, it's not bad, unless you poison somebody and get yourself shot. Hey, have you any idea what we're stepping into?
Yes, indeed. A lot of killings. And for no reason at all.
There's always a reason back of a killing. You know that.
Well, I can't figure what's back of these. Unless it is that somebody's trying to wrangle the Smoky River water rights away from the ranches around here.
Water rights? Why?
Well, that's one ear of corn I ain't been able to shuck yet. But I got some mighty good ideas. I'll tell them to you while I'm fixing you something to eat. Here, honey.
Thank you, dear.
Feel better now?
Tell me about Father.
Honey, you've had a hard trip. You better wait till later. What you need now is a rest.
Oh, Joel, I'm afraid.
Don't be afraid, Katie. Just remember I love you and that I'm here to take care of you.
I know.
You better go home now.
Doc Applegate.
Looks like he's been prospecting.
We'd better stall. I don't want to pull out of town until I find out what he's been up to.
Oh, hello, Doc.
Hello, J.D.
I thought you'd gone back to Elk City.
Not yet. I've been out in the hills doing a little investigating.
You have? Sit down and tell me about it.
It concerns the murder of Dave Hilton.
You don't say. Darn shame about Dave. You know, I've racked my brains, but I can't think of any reason why anybody should kill him.
He was my friend, J.D., my best friend. He and I grew up together. He helped me out when I needed it bad. I brought his daughter Katie into the world. Closed his wife's eyes on her deathbed. He was shot in the back, J.D. That's why I'm staying here instead of going back to the county seat.
I understand how you feel, Doc. But what can you do about it?
A whole lot, I hope.
Any clues?
At least I know why he was killed. Answer's right here in this envelope.
Oh, that's mighty interesting. Mind if I see it?
Did Dave confide in you at all, J.D.?
No.
Well, then maybe it's better if you don't see it. This knowledge has proven fatal to several people.
Well, just as you say, Doc, but aren't you sort of taking a chance yourself?
I'm staying right here in Rawbone until I find out who the guilty parties are and see them brought in with a rope around their neck.
But start from the beginning.
Well, Ling Chow was the first one to get it. He was the Chinaman that owned this place. Now, he was packing a $500 money belt with him, and it was still on him when they found him.
That doesn't make sense. Was he carrying anything else?
Well, nothing of any consequence. A little sack of dirt that he brought down from the hills. And them strangers that were murdered, they were packing a couple of sacks of dirt.
He's just common dirt?
Yes, just ordinary dirt. Well, here's your grub, and I think it'll set all right with you.
Kate came in on the stage today.
Yeah.
She had rather a narrow escape.
Yeah, I heard about it. I'm going over and see her.
She's probably with Joel.
Thank you. See you later. Mustn't forget this.
Looked like you've been camping out.
That's the way I want to look. Hello, Darby.
Hello, Doc.
You know where that young feller is got off the stagecoach?
Well, he's down to Ling Chow's eating.
Thank you.
Baker. Tell Trigger to find out what Doc Applegate has in that sack he's carrying.
All right, boss.
Thought Katie'd be here.
She was here, but I just took her home.
How's she taking it?
As well as you can expect.
Trigger.
Edwards wants you to find out what Doc's got in that sack.
I think I know what's in that sack. And if I'm right, we'd better be sure that he doesn't talk to too many people.
Something you can do for me, too. Put this envelope in the safe for me, will you?
You bet I will, Doctor.
I'll drop in and see Katie later. Meantime, don't let anyone see that paper unless I say so.
All right, Doctor. I'll see you over at the house.
It just doesn't add up, Sandy. I don't see how Hilton or Ling Chow could have been mixed up in water rights.
But everybody that was killed, except Hilton, was packing them little sacks of dirt.
Swanky, you and Baker mount up and watch for a signal. Lem, you and me need some coffee.
Another cup of coffee, son.
You the young man who came in on the stagecoach?
That's right. Jack McKenzie's my name.
I'm Dr. Applegate. I sent for you.
Yes, I know. I'll look you up within an hour. Sit down.
Coffee, please.
Hello, Doc.
Hello.
Been out of town, haven't you?
Yes, Trigger.
Well, what'll it be, gents? Give us a couple cups of that sheep dip.
Mine tastes like saddle soap.
Now, that ain't funny.
Doc, did you hear about the stage being held up today at the watershed? They killed old Pete and got the money box.
Yes. A loss like that's going to hit the ranchers pretty hard with their water bonds just coming due.
Me and Trigger's going out to get the men who done it.
Yep. Well, what are you waiting for? You sure they've got a good head start so they can escape?
You're going to talk out of turn once too often, and you ain't a good enough cook to get away with it.
Oh, let him alone, Lem. A rotten cook's better than none. Hey, McKenzie, you saw the horses those men were riding. They have any special markings?
None. I didn't even notice a white foot.
Yeah, that's too bad.
I'm going over and see Kate Hilton.
Poor girl. Must be feeling pretty miserable.
Yeah, and we better get that posse started.
Just a moment, Bob. 2 bits for the coffee.
Sandy, come here. Trigger cut that sack Doc was carrying. Look.
Why, that's the same kind of dirt those other men had. Looks like Doc might be next.
Sweep that up and save it. I'm going to keep an eye on him.
It's Doc Applegate. Anybody see who done it?
No, but the shots came from that alley. That fellow McKenzie rode out of town like a windstorm. Maybe he got a flash up. We'll take him to the jail.
Well, I'll search the alley. Somebody's following us. Split up. You can't trail us both.
What's the idea of shooting at me?
We'll talk about that in town. How bad you hit?
Creased along the ribs.
Well, I guess you'll last till we get back. Let's go.
That's everything I could find in the Doc's pockets.
No envelope?
Not a sign of it.
Hey, Trigger! Lem! Say, look what I found in the alley. Doc must have been shot with a .38-40 rifle. I picked up an empty shell.
That's a .38-40, all right.
Hey, don't throw that away. I want to keep that. That's a clue.
Hold it.
What are you looking for?
The gun you threw away. The one that killed Dr. Applegate. I thought I ought to find it about here. You must have a lot of guns to afford to throw one of these away.
I never saw it before in my life.
The name of Clint Baker is on the stock. Well, I guess we can find out who he is when we get back to town. Let's go.
Get that envelope?
No, Doc wasn't carrying it.
Oh, crazy! I saw him put it back in his pocket again.
Maybe so, J.D., but it's my hunch he left it in the safe when he went into the express office.
Yes, that's quite possible. I'll speak to Joel about it.
He'll show it to you without any trouble.
No, I wouldn't ask him. Might make him curious. If it's in the safe, you'll have to figure another way.
I think Swanky and Lem can handle that.
Well, don't waste any time, because I think that paper will show us the location of the pay dirt.
What you got there?
Killer. Come on, I'll give you a hand.
You're real thoughtful, ain't you? Don't worry about me. I won't be in that jail long.
Well, you're going to be in there now. Move on.
Gosh, you been shot too?
Yeah, this is Dr. Applegate's murderer.
Him? Have you got proof?
Plenty. You heard the shots? They were fired from a rifle, weren't they?
Yeah, from the end of the alley. I found an empty shell. It's a 38-40.
Well, that's what this is. A 38-40. He tossed it in the brush when I caught up with him. What's his name?
Clint Baker.
Take a look at the stock.
That's real evidence, Clint. I'm going to have to lock you up. Trigger, put him in a cell and patch him up. Say, there was another one, wasn't there?
Yeah, but he got away.
Has someone been hurt? Can I be of any help?
Clint shot the doctor, and McKenzie here had to wing him to catch him.
He's not hurt bad.
You seem to make a habit of thinking quick. I'm glad somebody had the nerve to follow them.
Well, I guess I was the only one that saw them leave town.
Excuse me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hello, Kate. I'm glad to see you.
Hello, Mr. Edwards.
Mr. Edwards, I'd like you to meet Mr. McKenzie.
Well, I'm glad to know you, young man. I understand you brought in Dr. Applegate's murderer.
And you seem to travel fast around here.
Well, good news is scarce. That kind travels very quickly. I was coming over to see you this afternoon, Kate, because you know you have my sympathy.
Thank you, Mr. Edwards.
There's nothing we can do here further. Let's go.
Well, McKenzie, I hope you'll spend some time with us.
I might be interested in buying a ranch if I can find something I like.
That's fine. Perhaps I can help. I own the Land and Water Company here.
Have you got anything good for sale?
I might. Drop into the office and see me. By George, that reminds me. There's some ranches waiting for me there right now. I'll see you later.
Hey, McKenzie. Don't forget you got to be in town to testify against Baker.
Don't worry. I'll be here.
Well, you met the Land and Water Company.
Edwards, yes.
That ain't gonna bother you much.
Mighty clear evidence. Mighty clear. Doc was plugged by a 38-40 slug. With this gun and that stranger's testimony, Clint is going to stretch.
Don't ever think I'm going to stretch, you blundering old fool. I got friends in
Take
this
it
town.
easy, Clint.
Maybe he ought to have some coffee or something.
Yes, and you'd better bring him some food, too.
Yeah, well, I'll fetch him some from the house.
I think we ought to get over and find out what's going on at that meeting. I've got an idea that there's some boots going to start pinching around here pretty soon.
It's a good idea, Sandy.
All right, give me a gun. I'm getting out of here.
Just a minute, Clint. Dobby's an old fool, but he's honest. And besides, he's got you booked.
What do I care? I'm going out of here. There's others coming in. You can tell the boss I want my cut now, and then I'm clearing out of here. You can tell him my name's on that gun stock, and that stranger's ready to prove the case. And if he don't get things set, I'm going to start talking and talk loud.
Shut up. I'll do the talking. Now sit down. We're going to handle this thing my way. There can only be one reason he'd send for us. Our money not getting through means our finishing.
Well, gentlemen, you all look pretty grim.
Well, this is grim business for us. You didn't expect us to smile, did you?
Well, I don't know what business you refer to.
Let's stop beating about the bush, J.D. That holdup this morning's got us all broke. So I guess here's where you clamp down.
Well, I didn't think my friends would do me such an injustice.
Well, we can't pay our water shares, you know that.
Have I demanded instant payment? I'm willing to let the matter ride. Give you all a chance to make up your losses.
That's mighty generous of you, J.D.
Well, it's enough to know that you're my friend.
I'm sorry I blew up, Trigger. I might have known you wouldn't let me down.
Well, do exactly as I told you. I'll shoot at you as you're leaving town to make it look good. But I'll shoot high.
Shoot plenty high.
Look out, here comes Dobie. You'd better be careful when you feed him, Sheriff. I wouldn't unlock that cell door if I was you.
I don't figure to.
I'll get some food myself.
Now go home and don't worry. We'll find a way to work this out.
That makes me feel a lot better.
Well, Sandy, that blows up your idea about this being a fight over water rights.
You're sure right, son. Well, we'll have to get another angle to work from.
I got one. Let's get back to your place.
A fine cockeyed rester known to you are. Never around to feed anybody when they're hungry.
And you're supposed to be out rounding up bandits, ain't you?
That's enough out of you. Get in there and start cooking.
Well, I swear to goodness. Come sit down.
Baker tried to escape, so I had to shoot him.
He sure was the varmint. And just look what he done to me. What was Clint trying to say?
You'd better ask your deputy.
What do you mean by that?
Just what you think I mean.
We better take him into the jail.
Well, here, unlock me.
Give him a hand, will you, boys?
Here, bring him on close.
What happened?
Baker tried to escape, so I had to drop him.
Why'd you do that?
Well, he threatened to talk, so I figured the best thing to do was to quiet him.
Very likely.
Well, Sandy, what do you make of it?
Same as you do. Scared he'd talk. I wish we knew what was back of all these killings.
Well, if my hunch is right, we'll find out in a couple of minutes. Where's that dirt I asked you to save?
I've got in the can underneath the sink.
Get it.
Well, here's the dirt. Now, what are you going to do with it?
Pan it and see what happens.
Oh, now I see what you're driving at. Listen, son, you just get a hold of that pump handle, and I'll show you a master panner going to work.
What about this fellow McKenzie?
I'm beginning to think we ought to do something about him, too.
Yeah, no more of that. At least not for a while. You and the boys figure some way to get into that express safe. Joel told me that he put an envelope in there for Doc Applegate, and I want it.
Look at that color.
Classic gold.
Yeah.
That's our answer. The next thing is to find out where this comes from.
That's easy. The hard part is to live long enough to use the information. Nobody has yet.
You scared?
Shaking in my boots.
So am I. I'm going to have another talk with Miss Kate tonight. I'm sure this is a key to her father's death, and she might know something that'll help us.
Uh-huh. And while you're over there, I'll go down and have a visit with that sheriff. You know, he's either the smartest man I've ever met and crooked, or the dumbest and honest. And it might be a good idea for us if we could find out which.
Good evening.
I hope I'm not intruding, but I'd like to have a talk with you young folks.
Oh, come in.
Thank you.
Sit down, won't you?
What seems to be in your mind, Mr. McKenzie?
Well, I just wondered if you had heard of anybody prospecting in this section of the country.
No, I don't believe I have.
Well, I heard Ling Chow say, all the same kind of country where men find gold up in Sutter Creek.
Oh, so did I, but we all laughed at him.
Oh, my father didn't. He said the Chinese were shrewd miners and that Ling Chow was a very clever man.
You know, Mr. Hilton and Ling Chow were very good friends. They used to hunt and fish a lot together.
Did Dr. Applegate ever go with him?
Yes, I believe he did once or twice.
And now he's gone. It's all like a mad dream. 3 fine men who didn't harm a soul. Oh, Joel, perhaps we should take Mr. Edwards' advice and go away.
I don't think so, honey. We'll talk about that tomorrow. You're tired and frightened. Why don't you go up to bed?
I think I will.
Well, thanks very much. I heard just about all I need to know.
Say, I'll go along with you if you don't mind.
Sure, come along.
Thanks so much, Mr. McKenzie, for trying to help.
Good night, Miss Kate.
Good night.
Good night, honey.
Good night, dear. Be careful.
Don't worry about me, honey. I'll see you in the morning. Something's worrying me, Mr. McKenzie.
What is it, son?
Well, why are you going to all this trouble to help us?
Well, let's just say that mysteries bother me. Even when I was a kid, I couldn't quit a puzzle until I'd solved it.
You think you can solve this one?
Well, I know most of the answers now. But there's still a few pieces missing, and one of them is that none of the victims ever left a message.
Dr. Applegate did. At least he left a letter with me.
You know what's in it?
No, I don't.
Well, we've got to open that letter.
I can't do that, not without authority.
In that case, I'll have to trust you.
United States Marshal?
Yep. Dr. Applegate sent for us.
Us?
Meaning Sandy, who runs the restaurant. He's my partner.
By the way, how long you been in office?
About 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Well, I'm surprised you've lasted that long in a town like this. Wait a minute, Sheriff. Wait a minute. There's nobody behind that window.
Then you think the letter might be important?
It may be very important. There's Hilton, Doc, Ling Chow. Their deaths all linked together. And that message may solve the whole mystery.
Well, it won't take us long to find out.
Don't light a match unless you have to. We can do this job in the dark. Give me the stuff. That ought to do it. Give me a match.
What's the idea? I beg your pardon. I slipped. I don't know. It must have been a spot of grease back there.
There's a man here on the floor.
Light the lamp. It's Joel. Wonder what happened to him.
Well, he must have walked in on somebody robbing the place. Is he shot?
No, just knocked out. We better take him over to Kate's.
That's a good idea.
This ought to be far enough. Let's circle back to town.
Yeah.
I was afraid something like this would happen.
Now, don't get excited. It's nothing serious. He's simply been struck on the head, that's all.
But he just left here a little while ago with Mr. McKenzie.
He'll be all right, Kate. Get some hot water. Lock McKenzie up on suspicion of the robbery.
But maybe Joel recognized one of our men.
Yes, that's possible. But I'm going to stay here till he comes to and find out just what he knows.
I think I can rig up a couple of witnesses.
There's no more cooking today. The fire's out.
All right, skip that. Look, you recognized the man that rode away from the express office, didn't you?
Why, no. Don't you recollect I slipped coming out the door?
Yes, I know all about that.
You know, it was these boots. There's a run over at the heel. It's a wonder I can walk it
You
off.
don't have to walk. Just talk when I call you as a witness in this case.
In this case, a witness?
What am I going to say? Just say what I tell you to.
Thanks. Thanks ever so much.
There's a couple of bay horses at the far end of the hitching rack tangled up in their ropes.
That sounds like ours.
Yeah. Just a minute. I just wanted to find out who they belong to, that's all.
Well, now that you know, what about it?
I'm interested in who's been riding them so hard.
What business is that of yours?
The express office was robbed a short time ago, and there's an envelope missing from the safe, and I want it. So let's have it.
I'll let you have it.
Draws like that are gonna get you boys killed one of these days. Now drop your guns on the floor.
Now drop yours on the floor. You're under arrest.
What for?
Assault and suspicion of robbing the express office.
They're the two coyotes you're looking for. They have the evidence in their pockets.
You were seen riding away, and that's good enough for me.
I think the fellow's been shooting from alleys, too.
Well, he won't be doing that anymore. Come on.
Joel, thank goodness you're all right. You've been unconscious for ages.
Oh, my head's still spinning.
Someone hit you a pretty hard blow on the head, my boy. Can you remember what happened?
Well, McKenzie and I were on our way over at the office. We heard this explosion, and I opened the door and went in and saw these two figures over by the window. And I went towards them, and that's all I remember.
McKenzie was probably waking with them. Struck you from behind.
No, he wanted to see something I had in the safe.
Well, the safe was forced open, so I guess he got a look at it all right.
Well, he was behind me, and the blow came from the front.
But in the dark, you can't be sure.
But I am sure. He's just as interested in clearing up these mysteries as we are.
Joel's right, Mr. Edwards. I'm sure he's just trying to help.
No, I'm afraid he's fooling you youngsters. There's no reason why an absolute stranger should interest himself in our troubles.
Honey, I believe I could use a cup of coffee.
Oh, of course, I'll make some right away.
Mr. Edwards, I told you Dr. Applegate left a letter for me to take care of.
Yes.
Well, McKenzie and I were on our way over to see what was in it, and someone got there before we did.
Well, why should you show it to him?
Well, I can't tell you that, but I can tell you he had a right to see it.
You're convinced of this?
Yes, I am. I've seen proof.
Then I'd better get word to Trigger that McKenzie's innocent.
I wish you would.
And I'd advise you to stay right here tonight and let Kate look after you.
I think I'll do that.
I guess old Dobby took his keys with him. But you'll get locked up because I've got mine.
Trigger, you know who robbed that express office. Why didn't you bring them in?
I only go the way the evidence points.
So you better have a talk with Joel.
He was out cold when I left him. Edwards is getting his story now.
And when the town hears it, you'll have to turn me loose. You know that.
Maybe. Now get in there.
What are you doing in here?
Well, I saw Trigger make the arrest, and I ducked down here ahead of him.
Now, that's fine. So we're both locked up.
Not if the key fits. Look under that bucket. Now, come on, we'll get out of here.
Hey, wait a minute. I've got a better idea. No, I'm beginning to like this place.
What's the matter with you? You going crazy?
Well, I don't think so.
Is this what you were looking for, boss?
Well, I hope so. Yes? This is it, all right.
We almost got caught by Joel and that stranger.
Something funny about that stranger. Trigger, take a look at this.
So that's where that pay dirt's coming from, that dry wash over at Oak Creek.
Yes, and if my guess is correct, there's a mile of it. Lem, you and Swanky hightail it out there at daylight. Destroy all marking posts Hilton may have left and put out our own.
All right. What's in the other paper?
Why, this is a letter from Doc to United States Marshal McKenzie.
That's that stranger.
And he's a marshal.
Well, he's safe enough in jail.
He isn't safe anywhere. But we've come this far, and he's not going to stop us now.
That's right. He might try to escape like Baker did.
He's smarter than that. I think you better turn him loose.
You turn him loose and I'm leaving town.
What are you afraid of? He's only one man.
Yeah, he's only one man, but I've seen him draw.
You got an angle, J.D.?
Yes. Suppose he started a fight with an officer. You, for instance. And somebody, not knowing he was a marshal, helped out the law.
That could happen, couldn't it?
It must happen. Then notify those ranchers up around that Oak Creek section to be in town first thing in the morning. I've got an idea that I want to buy some property around Oak Creek.
McKenzie, I've decided to turn you loose.
Remember, Swanky, Trigger wants a chance to work him over a little before we cut down.
What's the matter? You got softening of the heart?
No, Joel thinks you're in the clear. I hate to turn you loose because I still think you're a crook.
I know you are.
There's the door, so start drifting. And my advice to you is to get out of town and stay out.
Sorry, I got business here. I'll take my gun.
We'll keep that. All right, start drifting.
You'd like that, wouldn't you? Then you could give it to me in the back like you did Baker. I said I'd take my gun.
I thought you'd try that.
That's time enough.
I'll take him.
I wouldn't do that. Drop it. And you too. Now just walk easy toward that door. That's just fair enough. You know, you should never stop a good fight, especially when it's free. Trigger's really whopping him. Hit him right in the body. I can't stand to look at it myself. One, two.
Get in there.
Start moving.
These two are trying to do a little pot shooting through the window.
Throw him in here.
In you get.
Sorry, we ain't got more bunks for you.
Come on, Sandy. My gun's over here.
Here comes that sheriff, Doc.
We'll get out the back door.
No, but he'll let him out.
That's what I want. Come on.
Gosh almighty, what happened?
Dobby, unlock this door.
Huh?
Unlock the door.
Jiminy, what are you fellas doing in there?
Don't ask a lot of fool questions. Open the door.
Yeah, sure. Oh, wait a minute. I ain't got a key.
He threw it over in the corner.
Huh?
Over in the corner.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
You know, I thought the Trigger and his men would be after it by now.
He's got more important things to do. They took Doctor's message from the safe, and I'm sure it holds the location of Hilton's claim. And we've got to find out where they delivered it.
And I think we know that now, because they went direct from Edwards' office to the jail. I saw them.
Edwards? Then he's our top man, all right.
Yes, and I think we ought to move in and take him now.
Well, we can't do that until we locate that claim ourselves.
Well, they haven't seen it yet, and I think that's going to be their next move.
Well, that's the reason I wanted them loose, so one of us will be free to trail them. Now, you take the north end of town, and I'll watch here.
Well, you are beginning to savvy. I'm going to make a real United States Marshal out of you yet.
Well, I don't think I can ever make a cook out of you.
Oh.
We can't find that pair anyplace. We've combed the whole town.
I don't like the looks of this. What about the ranchers?
They've been sent for. 9 o'clock at the saloon.
Good. You boys get out of that claim and get back here in a hurry. You and Bill ride herd on this town and watch for that marshal and the cook.
I'll cover this end of town from here. You watch from the jail. For somebody?
No, I was just moseying around.
Yeah? Well, you can mosey right back to jail. You're under arrest.
So what's the idea of all this? And where's your warrant?
Go on before I decide to leave you out here for the buzzards.
There's a marker.
A lot of that same dirt around here. The boss was right. This is Hilton's claim.
Not now, it ain't. Give me a pencil.
Well, let's get back to town. The boss will be waiting for us. We'll know what land to buy.
Get in there. Lock the door.
Well, what's she done?
We're locking him up for helping McKenzie attack me. Here's his gun.
It's a very serious offense to attack the deputy of the law.
Darby, I guess you mean all right. But you're mighty colorblind when it comes to the law around here.
It was old Sandy, all right. I've locked him up.
That's the place for him. Let's get over to the saloon. Those ranchers will be here any minute now. Well, here's Swanson Jones now.
What is this, a meeting of the Oak Creek Ranchers, Edwards?
Yes, I sent for you for a reason. But first have a drink with us, and then I'll explain.
I'm anxious to hear what this is all about. What do you got on your mind, J.D.?
Well, I guess you could all use a little money.
Yes, you know darn well we can.
Well, I found a client that wants to buy a portion of your ranches.
Not my ranch. I worked too hard to get it.
Wait a minute. Your own price. Cash on the nail. And it's a part that isn't even good grazing land.
Well, that's different. How about you, Colby?
Well, I never owned anything in my life I wouldn't sell if I got enough money for it.
Well, that's a wise attitude.
Just what part of our ranches do they want?
No, I'll show it to you here on the map. He wants to start at this point on the Oak Creek section.
Well, that belongs to me, and that certainly is no good.
And carry along to this point. Oh, that interests you, Joe. And you don't run any cattle on that section. Darby, where's the vet?
I don't know, but it's my guess he's heading for trouble.
Listen, Darby, you can't keep this man in here.
Well, if the prices are agreeable, I've got the deeds already made out over in my office.
Suits me. Well, then what are we waiting for?
Hold it, Edwards. You're under arrest. I'm United States Marshal Jack McKenzie. This is my partner, Marshal Hopkins. Your deputy and a few other men we've captured have been responsible for all the killings around here. Edwards was back of him. He wanted to buy your ranches because they're rich in gold.
Gold?
Yeah. And I advise you to check along Oak Creek.
Come on, Edward.
No wonder he wanted to pay top prices for our land.
Yeah, and cash on the nail.
Yeah.
Thank you both for everything you've done.
Well, that's just our job, Miss Kate. Now, when you two young'uns decide to get married, you come down to Texas, spend your honeymoon, be a guest in my hotel. In fact, the matter is, I'll give you the bridal suit.
You'd better come to Nevada, because he might decide to do some cooking for you.
Oh, sure.
Well, so long.
Goodbye.
So long.
Goodbye.
Well, guess we were split up again, Sandy.
Yep, seems like it.
And I want you to forget everything I said about your cooking, old-timer.
Don't call me old-timer. Confidentially, Nevada, I never did know a heap about cooking.
Well, you don't have to tell me that.
Oh.
So long.
So long, Nevada.